The Compounding Leader, a mid-career manifesto in the age of AI by Adarsh Sudhindra, hosted by Mysore Quantum AI and Mysore Book Club's Charitable Trust. With great pride and delight, and of course with a sense of fulfillment, I announce that The Compounding Leader is the 150th book being released. For the esteemed guests, Mr. Guru, Dr. R. Balasubramaniam and Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra onto the stage, please, to welcome the esteemed guests.
I'm humbled to be standing here this morning to release the 150th book. So we are very happy. The book club began as a small reading group, and to be launching the 150th book today, it is an honor as the readers. After the Mysore book clubs, we started with the Mysore R. Guru, Mr. R. Guru, a true gentleman. Mr. R. Guru, age-wise Mysore Mr. R. Balasubramaniam, Mysore's feather in Delhi, is heard and attended to at the national level. Mr. Balasubramaniam, I was going to say Balu, so ದೆಹಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ಬಾಲು. Mr. Sudhanva, who is in the audience, a true gem of and resonates with the city's growth and is always hands-on with the suggestions. A true visionary who has taken a step to cater to the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, millennials along with him. Members from the book club member, warm welcome to Adarsh's family, Shruti, Mr. Sudhanva, Adarsh's mother-in-law and Adarsh's children, and friends of ours and Adarsh's, and
Shantala to introduce the Mysore Book Club's Charitable Trust.
First, books are as important as fresh air. What miracle it is that from these small, flat, rigid space of paper, we can unfold world after world that sing to us, comfort us, quieten us, and excite us. Sometimes
and professionals get hands-on practical experience in artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Started by Excel Soft Technologies and supported by wonderful ecosystems like KDEM and Thai Mysore, MQA brings learning to life through workshops, project sprints, study circles, and hands-on sessions. Its focus is building strong foundations in quantum physics. MQA is aligned to contribute to Karnataka's ambitious 1,000 crore quantum mission, which aims to build a $20 billion quantum economy by 2035. Reads helps 1,000 lives live better. Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra, this morning is dedicated to you. We are all here to celebrate your vision and to learn from you. To officially launch Sudhanva Dhananjaya, Chairman and MD Excel Soft Technologies, to join the dignitaries onto the stage. I request Mrs. Subha Sanjay Aras and Dr. R. Balasubramaniam to receive the copies. In the meantime, I ask Seema to
Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra is a technologist, entrepreneur, author and Chief Innovation Officer at Excelsoft Technologies.
I sincerely thank all the dignitaries on the stage for launching and receiving the copies of The Compounding Leader. I now request Varsha Vinay to introduce today's chief guest, Mr. R. Guru, before his address to the gathering.
Good morning, one and all present here. It's my immense pleasure to introduce our guest, R. Guru. Shri R. Guru is an art graduate. He is a chairman of NR Group of Industry based in Mysore. Flagship company of NR Group is N. Rangrav & Sons Private Limited, which may...
I will be addressing Balu, Dr. Balasubramanian as Balu, because I have known him for 4 decades. More about him a little later. The introduction took more time than what my speech would take. Balu, Shubha, Adarsh, Sanjay, Rayan, so many known faces here, so I can't address each one of them. I will only call you as my best friends, ladies and gentlemen. When Sudhanva and others came and asked me to release the book, I was wondering in what capacity I have been asked to come here. Because I am retired about 15 years ago, no more in active business, but still I am the chairman of the group. So I get reports on what is happening. But then coming back to book others, before I talk about the book, a few words. I became a businessman, not businessman, actually joined my father when I was only 15 years of age. Now I am 83. So that I have been managed the, what should I say, all rolled into one. When I became joined my father, I was the accounts manager, I was the production manager, I was the sales manager, everything rolled into one. So the concept of mid-level management and others were not in small business any time those days. Now of course businesses have matured and people are now more aware of what the various level of hierarchical setup should be there to make it the business smooth. That is my experience. But I have read some of the management books related to management, but this book is different in the sense others you have said what not only it is a to-do book as much as no book, it's a to-do book also. He has given in a concise how to reflect on what you have experienced, and so many actual practical steps, as also his own experience in various levels in various organizations that he has worked, and now heading one of Sudhanva's very important portfolios. So there he is well qualified to write such a book. Adarsh. Wonderful. I went through it. Cursory glance tells me that it's good. And it will be useful to mid-level managers. Maybe they will also change their way of thinking, way of approaching things. I won't say doing things, but approaching things much more important, because every day when you are in a workplace, you do what is required. But then you rarely apply your mind on how it could be changed, how better value could be given to the business. So this book gives an idea about all that. Others. Wonderful given to the, I won't say to society, but particularly to businessmen, upcoming businessmen. We are talking so much about youth and requirement time, what they can contribute. What they can contribute will get increased many folds through reading books like this. So other great giving to the community, particularly business community. God bless you. Post-graduation in Harvard, public policy. And part of that important was the leadership development, not leadership, leadership itself. So he is an authority on leadership, if I could call you that. Yeah, no, you are. Don't be so humble. You are our friends. First, given to Mysore city. I know. She said, no, when I say Shubha, I mean the entire literary club team or the trustees. But I have come to a couple of your book release functions. Vikram Sampatsa had come and
The worthiest person to release the book. Subramaniam is a leader by example, as we all are. Bits of advice to Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra and to us, the audience as well. Thank you so much for your warm and affectionate speech.
And Balu says it's the first time, but they have blessed me with good wishes. First we met Balu. Thank you so much.
Gratulation Preetham to introduce the guest of honor, Dr. R. Balasubramanian.
Is a member of Niti Aayog, Government of India, bringing over 4 decades of grassroots experience to national policy making. A physician by training with a master in public administration from Harvard Kennedy School, he founded the Swami Vivekananda Youth Movement in 1984, which today reaches over 3 million people through health, education and community empowerment program, and the grassroots research and advocacy movement in 2011. A public policy think tank based in Karnataka, India. He previously served as member, Human Resource at the Capacity Building Commission, Government of India, and currently chairs the Social Stock Exchange Advisory Committee at Securities and Exchange Board of India. Roads, Cornell University. He has taught and advised on adaptive leadership, governance, and public policy in India and abroad. Thank you, Dr. Balasubramanian, for this morning.
Subramaniam to address the gathering. Please.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಗಂಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕೀಚ್ ಕೀಚ್ ಅಂತ. Today's event, Sri Guru, I don't think about him is true, but what they really missed out in the bio that they read about him is one of the greatest humanitarians I have known in Mysore. 40 years saved, but he alone lives who lives for others. The rest are more dead than alive. And I think you have been alive all your lives, sir. Thank you so much for that. I for the first time yesterday. He was insistent that he has to meet me and get me to read the book. An author, being one myself, I think the greatest joy we can get is when you're walking in an airport or sitting on the plane and the person next to you is actually holding one of your books and you think your world is done. You don't need a Booker Prize or anything for that. You just need a person sitting next to you to hold your book. And if that person is not just holding but actually reading it, you're on cloud 7. If he's read it and says it's very good, you're on cloud 9. And if somebody can convince you to read a book nowadays, you should be on cloud 11. And therefore others, not just for writing this book, but you convinced me to read it yesterday. And he's been so good at it. I think that itself reflects he's going to touch 40 soon. Quite a few years younger than me. And we were sharing notes yesterday. And he was visibly stunned that my new book has come along. And I'm sure he had this question, ಅದು ಯಾರು ಓದ್ತಾರೆ 500 ಪೇಜ್ನ ಅಂತ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ದಿರೋದನ್ನ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಓದ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ. That is an effort and something you really have to work very hard in writing a book which people can actually read quickly. I think I must congratulate you for that. The book drips with experience. It's not every one of us who can experience. All of us have experiences. Every day we have an experience. From this morning to now, I'm sure each one of you have some story to tell. But few of us can capture an experience and narrate it as a story. Still fewer of us cannot just understand what happened to us, but reflect on it and then think about it. But a very, very few handful of us who can not only experience it, reflect on it, but also write about it in a way in which it can benefit others. Because we don't live in a world where all the experiences can be ours alone. We need to borrow experiences of people. And the advantage of reading a book is you're actually living somebody else's experience through his eyes. And when you face the same instance in your life, you already have a folder in your head which can give you some bit of that experience and knowledge in that moment of time. And the beauty of his book is, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಗೈಡ್ ಓದೋದೊಂದು ಖುಷಿ. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಥರನೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಆ ವರ್ಷ. ಸೊ ಈ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಕು ಟೀಚರ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂಥರ ಗೈಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಏನು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಆದರ್ಶಗೊಂದು ಕೋರಿಕೆಯೂ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಟರಿ ಮೆಸೇಜು ಇದೆ. ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಟರಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಗೈಡ್ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಫಸ್ಟು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬರೀಬೇಕೀಗ ಅವರು. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡೆ ಬರೆದ ಪುಸ್ತಕನೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. I think each of his work, the inner game, the outer game, the long game, each chapter is a book by itself. And if you go deep into it, and I suggest that all the 5 steps that he talks about, the sketch that he has given, I was just trying to deconstruct the sketch. The sketch itself is a book. So now I think you have 5 books down the table, and you should be like one of the authors that you are recommended to read. In the last page is Brené Brown. I know her reasonably well, and I used to joke with her. Every book has got a different title, but the substance is more or less the same. So that's how the Westerners write books. You can always keep writing. You just change the title, and you have 3 more years of research, and then you write about it. But here, you've written the summary of the research or your experience, and now you got to expand it into a book. Now, leadership itself is a complex science. It's also an art. My Adarsh is working in the space of AI. Now, this AI he knows well, but I want him to know another AI also. Because in his book, the last 2 pages here, he gives a list of books to be read. None of them are Indians. And that's my complaint. India is not a world which has offered leadership to the rest of the world. Very few of us know this. Unfortunately, the Western world has captured it, documented it, researched about it, written about it, offers MBAs on it, and people like me go to Harvard and specialize and come back. And we tend to believe that they have more knowledge than us in the world of leadership. I beg to disagree. And I can say with authority because I have taught in an Ivy League on leadership based on the Bhagavad Gita. And that is the most subscribed course in that university at that time. So I do believe, not because I did it, I do believe a lot of what he has written is actually very strongly Bhagavad Gita. It is. And I could connect it when I was reading the book. So he needs to now learn the new AI about ancient India too. And once he does it, the remaining 5 books will have references from the Indic scriptures. And that's a promise you have to make to me.
Absolutely.
I say this because one of the earlier books, Power Within, which Guru Sir was referring, the Tata Sons chairman Chandrasekhar Chandra was launching it in Mumbai. And when he was launching it, he made a very strong complaint. And hopefully, I don't know whether before he lays on office, I finish writing the book, but he's told me, you've done research on so many different scriptures of India, but there's one book which you have not researched or written about, and maybe you should start working on it. And I made a promise to him which I have not kept up with. He's an authority on Tirukkural. Very few of us know Chandra is actually an authority on Tirukkural, and you can just quote any stanza and talk about it for hours on that. So I've made a commitment that someday I will possibly get deep into it, because my Tamil is Kannadiga Tamil ಮಾತಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ. ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ತಮಿಳ್ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ದಂಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಿಂದ ತಮಿಳ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ. ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಆ ಥರ ನಾವು ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಕುರನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದ ನಾವು ಭಾಳ ಸ್ವಚ್ಛವಾಗಿ ಇಡದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರು ಸ್ವಚ್ಛ ನಗರ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳು ತಗೊತೀವಿ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಾಳ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ನಗರವನ್ನು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ದಿನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಅಂದರೆ 20 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ದಿನ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. ನಿನ್ನೇನೂ ಒಂದು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೇನಿಲ್ಲ 32 ಎಕರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಈ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲಂತೂ ಇದು 3ನೇ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಏವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 10 ದಿವಸದ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಶೀಘ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥವೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯವರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಯೆನ್ಸಿ, ಹಿಂದಿನ MP ಗಳು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಒಂದಡಿ ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸಿದ್ರು ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗಿರೋದು. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರು ನಗರದವರು ವಿ ಲಿವ್ ಆನ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸಸ್ ಫೆಡ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಟ್ರಬಲ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ which is a unique Bhagavad Gita talks of schizophrenia. ನಾವು ಸ್ಥಿತಪ್ರಜ್ಞರು ಅಂತ ಹೊಗಳಬೇಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ದುಃಖ ಪಡಬೇಕಂತ ಇನ್ನೂ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಆದರೆ ಕೊಂಡಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಶನಿವಾರ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 11 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬಂದು ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿನೋ ಅಥವಾ ಶುಭಾದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿನೋ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಗಟ್ರಾಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಶುಭ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅನಂತಪುರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಬರೋನಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ನೀವು ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂದರು. ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಅವತ್ತೇ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ and coming from Anantapur to Bangalore airport, I became so febrile I couldn't even sit in the car. Then I thought I can't go travel and give others in the plane also whatever I was getting, because H1N1 is now reasonably there all over the country. So I thought let me be at least a little public health conscious and not travel. And what I came to Mysore, and that also she got to know some. And here I am. So I always consider her very persuasive. Otherwise, you cannot run a book club so successfully for so long, year after year, and do it so well. So I congratulate the entire team. That shows the commitment of the city. So as much as we're committed to the aesthetic pleasures of life, I think Mysoreans have to also understand that alone can't fill our stomachs forever. Even Vivekananda said, ಖಾಲಿ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಓದಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಿಕ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ನಗರವಾಗಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಸೆವರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್. And that book is not a business book alone. As I was going through it, I wanted to tell others. It may come from his business experience, but I think the paradigms that he has written about is meant for every one of us here. And we just have to apply it in our lives the way we need to apply it. And for the first thing he talks about that waking up and looking at ourselves deep inside us, not sitting back and feeling successful and then saying that once you're successful, you're done with life. I think we tend to come to that point in Mysore very quickly. And somewhere ಒಂದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ ತಿಂದ ತೃಪ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ದಾಟಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೇಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ತೊಂದರೆ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಭಾಳ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ದ process that we hesitate to come for events, especially my office still hesitates to allow me to attend any event. This is an event which I attended without even informing my office, which I'm not supposed to do. Because normally whatever we speak is considered to be policy, and media friends are always media friends and they know how to report. And today everybody is a media person. So you will record and put whatever you want, and the 2 seconds of Twitter can demolish everything that I've done also, I know. But I'm going to take the risk of saying this. It's a troubling world we live in. What the nation is facing today is not something which can be dismissed off as just the energy of Gen Z. All that is rubbish. I've lived as a Gen Z's life. I've been an activist all my life. I've been beaten up. I've been arrested. I fought the state. So I know what it is to be on the streets doing satyagrahas. What we see today, something which comes spontaneously out of compassion for society, and something that comes which is promoted to come out, is sponsored by agencies that actually can correct this nation. And distinguishing that requires leadership too in a different way. We are at a cusp of extraordinary opportunity as a nation. And that is not something which the rest of the world can tolerate. So it doesn't matter which government, who's in government, those are irrelevant. It's our country finally. Every one of us needs to own up to our country and understand the pressures that a nation goes through. Need citizens to be aware first. With awareness begins a journey of leadership. And then enhance your credibility by doing something with that awareness. Just being aware of being a good leader is not going to make you a good leader. You got to start doing something about it. ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಜಪ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ನಾವು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ದಿನ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಏನು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿದು ಅರ್ಥಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್ ಟು ಎಂಗೇಜ್ ವಿತ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ is so precious that it cannot be left to the control of just the government alone. It has to be controlled by citizens as part of the mandate the Prime Minister asks us to. He talks of Jan Bhagidari. He talks of समाज सरकार बाजार साथ में काम करना चाहिए ಅಂತ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಆದರೆ ನಾವುಗಳು ನಾನು ಸರ್ಕಾರದವನು, ನಾನು ಸರ್ಕಾರೇತರ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ, ನಾನು ಖಾಸಗಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ generate the awareness, have the leadership to translate awareness into credible strategies that you can all engage in, and finally act on it. Like Vivekananda said, his leadership was very simple. He said all you need is 3 H, he said. The first H, he said, the heart to feel. He said this much before anybody even spoke of the word leadership in a spiritual sense. Second, he said the head to think. And third, he said the hands to act. Now, if you look at leadership, it's only 3 things. Motivation. You've got to be inspired to do something. Motivation should convert into strategy. You've got to think through what you want to act on. And finally, it's action. And that's all. If deconstructed leadership is all that. The world can come, AI can come and change it, turn it upside down. But finally, all we need is the heart to feel, the head to think, and the hands to work. And it has to be our hands. I think the nation needs your hands today. So don't sit back, relax so much that you don't understand what your neighbor is going through. Engage. Engage with the wholesomeness of being more useful than anybody else. So I want to conclude with just a simple message of 3 things that the world needs, I feel, especially in the AI world. Amongst the several things I have to handle in my present role, I actually am sleepless over something which I never thought I would become sleepless about. Amongst the several portfolios allotted to me by Dr.B, one of the most important things are skills, entrepreneurship, labor and employment. And these are 4 things which can change India in the next 3 to 4 years. And we don't have too much time. It's not even 5 years more. In the next 2 to 3 years, if we don't act on it, we are going to lose the battle. We can't even think. Meta can pay its AI engineers in millions of dollars, but our net investment on Sarvamaya is a palliative 10,000 crores. We're not even able to match the global inputs that's going into it. And I can tell you what a world we are leading in. Somebody sent me a message and I initiated action on it. The moment Prime Minister finished his speech on Independence Day, they put it into ChatGPT and said, what do you think of the speech? And it is so nastily replied back, which is absolutely unthinkable. The algorithm written is only to criticize, condemn and do everything that data that is getting trained at, every material that it is being fed with, is all things which are not, and we are losing the battle very fast. And so if you are running a quantum foundation, I think you need quantum to the power of quantum to catch up with what the rest of the world is doing. So we are living I was reading up a lot and then we suddenly realized the next thing is not computers. Because human beings are no longer, you don't need to work at all. What we're looking at is the growing concept called the attention economy. How much can I hold your attention for? The longer I hold it, the more money I make. And if I can deconstruct your attention and see where is your attention focusing on, I can make money out of it. I never even knew this. Now I am actually working on creating that economy for India. So I'm wondering, where are we going? So that is, we are in a world where, and the tragedy is, none of us can pay attention more than a few seconds. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು 15 ನಿಮಿಷದಿಂದ ಮೊಳೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇರೋ ನಾಟಕ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಆದರೆ I don't know how many of you are even paying attention to what I'm saying. That's a reality. Because we're all trained not to attend to anything more than a few seconds. And in those few seconds lies my ability to make money out of it. And how do you make it better, faster and more efficiently? How do you teach our youngsters? So today's world is not about giving degrees or all that. It's just how to capture attention and retain it. The one who knows it better and faster makes the most money. And that is a sad part of this world today. The second is we seem to be so aimless that we are all lost. We don't seem to have faith in anything except on the internet. Youngsters have more faith in Insta and than in actually their own parents. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಅಪ್ಪ ನಿನಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಪ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಮಿಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇತ್ತು, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಆದರ್ಶ್ run their business from this, right? ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಚಪ್ಪಲಿ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಸುತ್ತು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ಟೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಡಿ ಸಾಕು, ಅದು ಅಡಿಲೇನಿದೆ ನೋಡಬೇಡ. I know him for a long time, so I can be liberal with him. But the ability to have faith. And the tragedy is, Vivekananda said faith in oneself is all that matters. And that is the faith we don't seem to have. We seem to have faith in everything else outside of us. And this ability to surrender to that present moment. And I saw all these messages in Adarsh's book, that's why I'm connecting. How do you stay attentive? How do you develop your own faith in yourself, the inner game that he talks about? And how do you actually surrender to that moment, the present moment of time? And finally, I think that's only one part of it. He asked me a question yesterday, I said I'll answer it today. All this you can have, but finally what is life all about? A life, like Vivekananda said, if not lived for others, is no life at all. And anything we do, if we can't answer the question, who's going to benefit by this? If the answer is my company, my employees, it's a small world. That matters. Otherwise you won't even be hungry to run your company. But beyond that, if we can't say society is going to benefit by my existence, your existence is a waste. So I think, have the attention that you need. Have faith in yourself. Set the moment of time. And finally realize and remember that your life well lived is always lived for others. If AI cannot be for social good, it's of no use in a book at all. Thank you.
And complimenting him. Experiencing gift not everyone is blessed with. As for now, Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra is one of them. Side chat, Mr. Adarsh Ramesh, founder Inside Out, will be in conversation with today's author, Mr. Adarsh Sudhindra. Out, Desi Adda and Experience Mysore. An SJC and Myra alumni, he is active with Thai Mysore Mission. Make Mysuru a city where talent stays and builds. He is also the author of the book.
Thank you for that wonderful inaugural session. I'm glad to join Adarsh here for a quick fireside chat. Now, before that, it was about 2015, probably even before that. I think 13 years ago, I first met Dr. Balu at JC. I called him to inaugurate our SJC Youth Forum that I was setting up in 2013. That was the first time I heard Dr. Balu talk, and I always felt that in my life, wherever I talk, I should follow in his leadership and his footsteps. So all my life, some people here might recognize that I talk a lot on stage and mostly impromptu, which is all thanks to your inspiration. But today, contrary to that, Adarsh has insisted over the last 3 days that I do not deviate from the script. Sir, we have Mr. Guru and Sudhanma sir and everybody here in the audience. So firstly, Adarsh, many congratulations, as many of them have said. I know that it's a very proud accomplishment. Balu sir has already given you a target of 5 more books. So in line of that, I want to just understand, I think our question next is, who did you really write this book for? Can you please share some insights on that?
Before I answer that question, it's for mid-career folks, right? Mid-career as in people who have spent 10, 15, 20 years things, and you have achieved some financial stability, you built some skills and competencies, you're known for a few things.
You know that many mid-level managers or leaders can benefit from this. Now I'd like to know, was there a personal moment that changed about how you thought about leadership?
Yeah, things actually, that actually changed, approach leadership. Number one, if you're doing a fantastic job of leadership and mentorship, that team or person will overtake you, and you should be open to it. So that.
Now, one other thread that comes from that is when your son defeated you, right? There's more of building that one thought, but there's also a character of humility that kicks in, where sometimes you feel that you're at the center. One of the most humble person, if you say, in Mysore, image that comes to my mind, or at least many of the people in this room mind, is Mr. Sudhanva.
Absolutely.
So, humility and also Mr. Guru on how they've achieved the pinnacle of success, how they are leaders, but still managed to stay humble. So, what is it for you? How to
go? I was very different. The leader in me was very different. Arrogant. Over a period of time, you make mistakes, you learn from them, you change.
Before taking up a corporate leadership position. So, I get a sense of what you learned here. How about as an entrepreneur, what did you learn?
So, entrepreneurship is very different. Now, you have several entrepreneurships and entrepreneurs in the room here. I'm the least entrepreneur for about 5 years. I ran a company called Enhanced Education, and being an entrepreneur is not easy. Nothing is taken care of for you, right? You have to pay the bills.
Part of it. So your book specifically is for mid-career professionals. Now you said there is already a safety net, there is a dedicated processes, there are leadership with a vision. But what do mid-career people still face, and how did you think that you have to address it, or what problem are you actually trying to solve?
No, it was never a thing when he was growing up the career. So all of us, me, my wife, we grew up the ladder in Excelsoft, right? So we started low. The thing is, like I said, there should be team members in my company who would pride themselves on their ability to create PowerPoints. If we have a problem or a product to build, not from a software point of view, if we have a problem, any industry for that matter, if you have two teams, one team full of experienced folks, people 15, 20, 25 years experience, on the other end you have youngsters, the AI native thinkers, 22, 23, 24-year-olds. The same problem is given to both. The youngsters don't even care about the architecture, the SDLC, the best practices and everything. They look for the best tools available in the market, of course with the guardrails and everything under regulations, and come up with a solution in a matter of a month.
Answer them in a sentence of like starting go, which is harder?
Or startup or letting go is much harder. Starting is easy.
The thing that we operations around our own cohort itself is that when we talk about training and building people, right? Building people with respect to working with the Gen Z, it's a very difficult or probably a different mindset. The approach itself is very different, right? For us who are in our late 30s, very different from how you're supposed to train the next gen or the Gen Zs, right? So
this is the Gen Z problem essentially.
As I promote to come on to the idea that being open to learning and having the humility to recognize that success cannot depend on one individual.
To thank the following: Desi Adda and Inside Out for all the arrangements and coordination of the book release, Mysore Book Club's Charitable Trust and Shubha Sanjayars for the release of this book that is the need of the hour and so relevant to each one of us, Southern Star Management for the wonderful arrangement and the refresh up their responsibilities, being such a wonderful hostess for the event,